Welcome back to another episode of Dough with Drea, where today we're going to make a French toast casserole with leftover dinner rolls. So these are some leftover rolls from whenever we had our Thanksgiving. All I'm going to do is I'm going to grease a 9x13 pan while I'm preheating my oven to 350 degrees. And then I'm going to chop up these rolls to make the base of our casserole. Okay, now that we have our bread broken up into the bottom of our casserole dish, we're going to go ahead and make our filling. So we're going to start by cracking 3 eggs. I like to crack mine into a second bowl because I always drop a shell inside. And 3. And now that those 3 eggs are successfully cracked, you can add them to your bigger bowl. And you're going to take 2 cups of any milk. We have to use lactose free because my daughter is lactose intolerant. And we want this breakfast to be good for the whole family. So here's our 2 cups of milk. And then we're going to get 3 teaspoons of vanilla, any kind of vanilla extract. Ours came from Mexico on a trip we took down there. Call it our little souvenir. And then you're gonna wanna take a ½ teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And last to our bowl, we're going to add a ½ cup of brown sugar. This one is light brown sugar. You can also use dark brown sugar. Really no preference. I have both in my house. Alright, and we're gonna go ahead and mix that all up. Once it has a good mix, we'll add it to our casserole dish, and we'll get started on a nice streusel topping. Okay, in a separate bowl, we're gonna go ahead and make our streusel topping, which calls for 1/4 cup of flour. I use all-purpose in every baking dish. Flour shall do. And then a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. We are still using light brown sugar. You can also use dark. And then we're gonna come in with another ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. And with your teaspoon or a fork, you can go ahead and give that a nice stir, because then we're gonna wanna take 1½ tablespoons of cold butter and work that in with clean fingers to make a little crumble. So you can take your butter, you're just gonna mash it up. And then as it's mashing, it should just look a little crumbly, like a little streusel topping. And once that's all crumbled, we're gonna go ahead and layer our casserole dish. Now we have our layered with our French toast. We're gonna go ahead and pop this into our oven cover for 45 minutes. In the last 15 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and take that foil off so it can brown a little on top. All right, while our French toast is baking, let's take a moment to talk about self-care and why self-care is more than just taking a shower, maybe a bubble bath, maybe getting a facial or a massage. Because yes, while that is taking care of yourself, we're talking about taking care of ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, all of the good things. So when you're thinking about the next time you want to do self-care, make sure you make it intentional. So showering is just a part of hygiene. Maybe you're taking a bubble bath that's not part of your normal routine, but if you're taking a bath with the intention of getting clean as part of a normal routine, I would not consider that to be self-care. On the other hand, if you're going to take a bubble bath because you're already clean and maybe you're going to read a book, take some time for yourself, practice some breathing techniques, something that's going to get you re-energized and ready for the rest of your day, the next day, to help you wind down at night. Some other things to think about are maybe journaling. Some people like to journal in the morning. That way you can get everything off your chest from the night before, or you can just start your day with a clean slate. It's also a good time if you're a task person or you like to make lists, to make your list first thing in the morning. If you're not really much of a task person, you can journal at night, and then you can write down everything that happened throughout the day, the good, the bad, things you want to reflect on, things you might want to change. So those are some things to consider when we're talking about self-care. There's plenty of other options out there. You guys can share them below in the comments, but let's go take a look at our French toast. With 15 minutes left on the timer. We're gonna go ahead and uncover our casserole, and then we're gonna let her finish baking. Woo! Steam shot. Look at that casserole. This casserole can also be made the night before and left in the fridge. And if you choose to do that, you'll just have to take it out 30 minutes before you want to bake it to bring it up to a little bit more room temperature, and then still bake it with the same directions.